I'm Mark, and welcome to my journey through tarot. What I'm going to do today is I thought I'd show you three different decks of cards, two that I've used already and one that I'm going to use on the next reading, just to show you the difference in an artist's conception of what the tarot means. Usually these illustrations are made with the guidance of whomever has decided there needs to be a new interpretation of the deck, and then they'll employ an artist to work with them and get all the elements of the tarot into each individual picture. And remember, that's 78 frames, 78 pictures that they have to interpret appropriately. So what we've used so far is the Smith-Waite Tarot Centennial Edition, which really prominently features Pamela Coleman Smith's original artwork, or as close to it as they believe they could come. And so I thought I'd pick out one card of each from each of the three decks, just to show you the difference in the artist's interpretations. So that was the Pamela Coleman Smith deck. The last reading I did, we used the classic tarot from Llewellyn, which you see up here, and the woman with the concept is Barbara Moore, and the illustrations are by Eugene Smith. So this is a beautiful deck. I like to use it a lot, and it is true to the Rider-Waite symbolism. Now the new deck, which I love this deck, and one of my favorite psychics, who's a Psychic Violetta on the YouTube, uses these cards exclusively. It's all she uses. So Golden Tarot, these are beautiful cards. These are by, I think, U.S. Game Systems, which most of the tarot decks you're going to find are by U.S. Game Systems, distributed and made by them. But the artwork on this one is by an Australian artist called Cat Black. And what she's done is she's taken, just to show you one card right away, and this is the back of those cards, but she's taken images from our European artwork around from between the 12th and the 15th centuries, and cut and pasted different pieces of those various pieces of art to come up with the symbology in the card. So I'll show you how Cat Black compares to Barbara Moore's interpretation, and then Pamela Coleman Smith's interpretation. And you know, I tend to think that the artists are the most important part of that, because after all, that's who we're identifying with, you know, all the beautiful art in there. But someone had to have the concept, and I know that from what I read in the case of Pamela Coleman Smith, is some of those frames, some of those pieces of art, or some of those cards had to be rethought, or in other words, she'd make her interpretation of what she was told the card should represent, present it to the person with the idea, and they'd come back and say, well, no, this needs to be like this, or that needs to be like that. So it was an artist, I think, usually, or maybe often, likes to give their interpretation of what their art is going to be. But in this case, it's a really close collaboration with the with someone else. So there you go. So I'm going to put the laptop down, and then we will look at all this different art on just three cards. So this will be a very short video, just to a placeholder almost, and here we go. So I think for the Pamela Coleman Smith deck, I'm going to use the Eight of Swords, which, as you can see, is a very complicated depiction. I mean, there's lots of parts of this card that have to be determined that they look exactly the way they are. This isn't just by chance, or just so that it's an attractive painting. Everything in these cards, every little piece of it has some kind of meaning to help move your intuition forward. So this is the Eight of Swords in the Rider-Waite by Pamela Coleman Smith. So I'm going to look for the Eight of Swords in the Barbara Moore Classic Tarot deck. So let's go through here quick, and of course it'll be the last card I'm sure. And you know, I just picked the Eight of Swords because it happened to be the card that was on top of that first deck when I opened up the box. It was the 8, wasn't it? Yeah, Eight of Swords. But I mean, just to have these and look through them is a joy. So again, we have the first deck here. Now, no, this is Barbara Moore in collaboration with Eugene Smith. This is their interpretation of that deck. So all the important symbols are in there as interpreted by the what do you call the person who has the idea? So in this case, Eugene Smith would have had to come up with that. So there we go. Now the third deck of cards, which I'm really crazy about, are these Golden Tarot. And again, this is distributed by US Games, and the artist for this is Cat Black, and I believe it was she. I don't think she had to collaborate with anyone. I think she just took the Rider-Waite symbolism and incorporated it into her depiction, her interpretation of the cards. These come in a great box, and some people don't like all the boxes and all the books and stuff that come with it, but I just find them very interesting, and they're always packed with a lot of good information. And so I think then these cards, as I showed you, that's the back, and I hope you're going to be blown away by how beautiful they are, but I've got to get through there and look for the Eight of Swords in this one so that you can compare the three. And I've probably got 25 or more different decks of cards, and I love using them all. Some of them I really can't interpret because I'm really dependent on the clear symbology or symbolism that's on the cards. Now the Eight of Swords in this case, similar but different. And I'll tell you something, what Cat Black has done is for all this beautiful artwork. I mean, this is art that you'll find in churches or maybe museums, and like I say, from the 12th to 15th centuries. And she'll go into a piece of art digitally and then pick out a piece that she feels represents some of that original symbology. So the swords may be taken from one piece of art, the robe might come from something else, the blindfold might come from something else, and even the sword, if the swords are different, you may find that she's taken a piece of one sword from one art and put another, but it come up with this beautiful that you can still identify with and interpret pretty easily, I think. So the difference of the cards is just striking, and the beauty of them, I think, is what brings you back to them. I'll put them around you so that you can see them, because I'm not going to do a read today, but just show you these great cards. And I really want to get one deck. I'll do 4. This is the Marseille, Tarot of Marseille. Can you see it? I don't think you can. Let me pull this up a little bit here. And I haven't determined who was the artist in this, but I just want to show you quickly what these cards will look like. So this is the back of these cards, okay, and I'm just going to rifle through here quickly to look for the Eight of Swords. And what's so about these cards is that they won't be as clear a symbology as the others. I mean, you really have to know what you consider to be your definition of the card, because you won't get a lot of clues from these cards. And these are some of the more original tarot cards. So this, as a contrast, is the Eight of Swords in the Tarot de Marseille. So you can see here, the first card gives you a lot of visual clues to pick up on to interpret the reading, whereas the Tarot de Marseille, I mean, you really have to be tuned in to what your definitions are, or what your intuitions are, also, to get a clear reading on those cards. So you can see they're really different, and they're all beautiful, they're all crazy, and I just love the variety of cards that you can come to with the tarot. So for me, it's a journey, just like I say so many times, and it's a fun journey. And if you like going on a journey, I can squeeze that one in, then you'll like maybe my trip. So that was very impromptu. I just ran in from an appointment from the dentist that took way too long, and so I'm not going to have time today to put together a proper video. But hopefully this is a little interesting for you, and maybe this is something I can incorporate in the future when I don't have time to do a video, and because it's already all done. Really, it's just showing you the artwork. Well, I'm Mark. This is my journey through the tarot. I really am glad you stopped by. I hope you'll come back again, and I'll be here just waiting. Have a nice day, whatever day it is that you happen to see this, and ciao for now.